A new life was breathed back into Duluth's housing stock today. A multi-million-dollar project not building new homes, rather updating ones that already exist. Northern News Now's Car Cop walks us through the newly renovated apartments in the Duluth Heights neighborhood and explains what this means for the community.
The cutting of a red ribbon often represents a grand opening. But for those at Windwood Townhomes, it meant a year-long renovation project is officially done.
There's a really high need in Duluth for affordable housing, and we didn't want to lose any.
Windwood Townhomes is made up of affordable housing units, meaning all the units are targeted to those making at or below 50% of the city's median income. However, due to the complex being around since the 70s, the quality of each apartment was deteriorating.
To lose 70 affordable and very affordable units in the city of Duluth would have a huge impact because there's really not a place for these folks to go.
In an effort to preserve the already existing housing stock, Center City Housing Corp., which owns Windwood, set out to start a massive renovation project, one that cost $18 million.
We applied for funding, for renovation funding through Minnesota Housing and through the city of Duluth, and we received the capital funds.
Money going right into the apartments many families call home.
We remodeled with new windows, new flooring, new countertops, new cabinets, a new playground, a new community center.
Each apartment now equipped with accessible kitchens and showers, ensuring another 50 years of what Center City calls affordable housing.
To go from what these places looked like before and the conditions and the help that they needed to this beautiful place feels really, really good.
In Duluth, Car Cop, Northern News Now.
Cara, thank you. Now, Center City is also kicking off a new housing project called Select Apartments. It's an affordable housing complex geared toward senior living close to essential health. There are no specific details on when that project will be completed.